So when you go in to find a code, one of the things that I wanted you to be aware of is this is another example of the common language description. Look how it talks about the diabetes, the polyneuropathy, the other descriptions, the excludes, the use additional codes. Yeah, they're bright and easy to follow. And then this information here is so pertinent to new coders, and I use it, so it's not just new. Signs and symptoms, and then it divides up the different types of neuropathy and codes. I mean, it's wonderful. And then on top of that, if I want to go down here and you want to get expanded, I can go in and look at the coding clinics. So now that's additional features. But let's just talk about the new code. So I want to go look at the new ICD code. I'm going to come down here. There's the new codes. And this is what I'm excited to show you. This is so simple to follow. For us who have been doing this for a little while, it just takes a few minutes, or you'll probably fall down the rabbit hole, but to just scan through and see what they focused on, because this is going to be alphanumeric. So we did have a thing on these mites. I thought that was funny. These are, remember, A and B codes are kinds of bugs and stuff like that. The cancer codes, that inflammatory breast code is there. And we got the new diabetes without complication in remission. This hyperolixuria, when people throw kidney stones and it's because of the oxalates, there's a whole section of codes to that. I have kidney stones, so this is really interesting. That was all expanded. I'm going to jump quickly here to, here's those MS codes that we talked about. Relapsing, remitting multiple sclerosis. One of the things a lot of people don't realize with MS, sometimes it affects certain body parts, and some people have problems all over, but other people just have some body parts that are affected. Maybe it's the eyes, and it can come and go in waves. And so now we have a better way to describe that. And then a whole list of MS codes. So that got a little bit of love. And then, let's see, the eyes, we talked about that a little bit, thyroid, but now we're getting into different anatomical areas, this cutaneous abscess of the flank. And remember, flank would be the side, the ribs and the hips, cellulitis of focal. So they're saying now we've added an anatomical site for these type of skin conditions. Then we get into the pressure ulcers. You get all of the codes for pressure ulcers, and the addition is now abdomen. We didn't have that option before. We just had trunk. And so now we have chest, abdomen, chest. So now the trunk is divided up, and, so below the equator and above the equator, or the belly button. So look at all of those, and then the neck, the face, the groin, and then we get into upper arm. Let's see, just moving really quickly. Unspecified upper arm. Forearm. So before we could always do upper extremity or lower extremity. So now that we know, that's why we have so many codes, because look, we have laterality and other, the depth of the particular code. Now we get into in codes. Didn't get a whole lot, but this rheumatoid arthritis, or having that rheumatoid factor without having rheumatoid arthritis. There's a couple here, the quirkiness. Oh, wow. If you want to have a little light reading and fun, go Google what some of these are. It's amazing what you'll find. I did look up one. Let's see, it's not this one. Which one was it? Oh, shoot. I did look up one. But all of these the Q codes are genetic codes. And was it Usher? But telling is that not only can we identify Usher syndrome now, but it's type 1, 2, and 3. And this is what when you go to a geneticist, or they're having genetic studies, and then somebody does the report, that's what specificity will have. And so go look up that. Neurodevelopmental disorders. I don't see the one I looked up before I came on. Foxy syndrome. That's not Foxy. That's Fox GI, G1. anything that helps you remember it. Then remember they added pelvic and peritoneal pain, right? Then you have the laterality, suprapubic, flank. So I thought that was interesting. Flank is the key word this time. That was added in a lot of areas. So flank, when look, flank pain, tenderness, laterality, not only just the area ulcers, but pain as well. Let the clinicians know that they can use the term flank. Then there's that cannabis hyperemesis syndrome.
Hyperemesis.
Emesis. Yeah. Costovertebral tenderness. So that is the between the vertebra and the ribs. Oh, here's that abnormal rheumatoid factor without rheumatoid arthritis. So that's telling, right? They've done research and they found this. Let's see, contusions to the abdomen wall. We talked about that. And flank again. Look, now we have not only pain, ulcer, now we have an abrasion, blisters, external constriction, superficial foreign body of flank. So that really goes to tell you that with these additions, they were called that identify an anatomical location. And that truly impact. I think that's what got the most love this year was that. Let's see, moving through these S codes because a lot of them just have abdominal wall and flank and stuff like that. Let's get past them. I'm sorry. Hopefully this isn't making you nauseous. Oh, there was one of the poisonings and self-harm, and I looked it up, and it was actually this right here. This is a vet tranquilizer.
Oh.
So what does that tell you? That's coming into the ER. So we have people using veterinary tranquilizers.
Or it's being used on them.
Yeah. Or yeah. I mean, think about that.
Well, it says unintentional.
Yeah. So, that is, that's telling, right? That's a new street drug, I guess. I don't know. And here's that one I told you, Gulf War illness. See how that impacts. So we have an actual, whenever they're starting to have, it's a new age group. It's a new generation. Generational war is identified here. And then effects of other war theaters. And that's what they call them in the military when they have a war and then they have a particular area like the Pacific Ocean, that would be a theater. I don't know at all that detail, but that's why they're using that verbiage. Here's that information about milk and anaphylaxis and stuff, other allergies and stuff due to milk and eggs. And then, fish hooks. I have to shout out to the ER where I grew up and got to work in one of my first jobs in the medical field. Not my first, probably my third or fourth, I guess. But I got to be the fish hook girl. So when I worked in the ER and we were in a resort area, and I'm telling you, they came in with fish hooks all over their body. And we had a huge board where we'd hung all the different fish hooks. But I had to set up the fish hook tray. And it was so much fun. I was the fish hook girl. And let's see. Low level blast overpressure. I'm not sure what that one was. I think, okay. So here's some other things that happen, how you get hurt. Splitting wood. I didn't even realize we didn't have that. Other outdoor activity.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, how don't people slam they hit that piece of wood and something flies up and hits them in the face, or they get something in the eye, or I'm thinking you're going to hit your leg with the axe. Activity, outdoor activity. That's a really ambiguous term, but I can imagine that if we have nothing else to use, now we can identify that. And then once they start looking at the descriptions, the documentation, then we may end up with another thing like splitting wood. Maybe it's climbing a tree. I don't know. For sport. Genetic susceptibility to malignant neoplasm. This was the one we talked about for colorectal cancer. So now we have fallopian tubes and digestive, these different ones, kidney. These go with those Q codes, right? That they're looking for. I suspect that when you go look at those, then eventually we'll get other codes that bounce off of those based on genetic findings. So genetic susceptibility, we've always had that for like BRCA, for breast cancer, would be a genetic susceptibility for breast cancer. And that tells you that the research is working, and that research is the initial point for that research is the codes that we drop based on the documentation that go in. And now that we're going to have AI that's going to be able to help us track the analysts faster, I have a feeling in the future we'll get new codes. Some of these codes, we'll start seeing that we get more codes instead of around 400. Allergy to milk, and then allergy to eggs. And this last one, I always think it's funny what the first one and the last one is. Personal risk factor of exposure to dithylthiolesterol.
Dilbestrol.
Well,
Okay.
somebody in the chat, you look that word up and let us know what it is.
Alicia, before you leave, find a code. Diana, and I'm sure everybody else, could you give the exact information or link where a list of the new codes was, and put it in the chat?
Okay. Now, these are probably not available to you. I don't know that they're available if you don't have a subscription. So that being said, here's the new ICD-10 codes for find a code. That's the first link I'm going to put in. Okay. But how you find that. So let's go to the home, find a code. This is what it looks like. And if you're not a member, you can still look up codes. It's free. You're just not going to get all that other information.
All the goodies. Yeah.
Yeah, all the goodies. So now if I say, I want to see what the new codes are. So I go here, and these are all the little expert things you can do. So I can look up CPT codes and all this additional information like SNOMED and stuff like that. Diagnoses, I can look up HCCs, DRGs, even ICD-11. So I'm going to go to ICD-10 because that's what we're looking at. Now, if I want to just type in a code here, I could, or information. Here's my index, just like your manual, the guidelines, or the codes themselves. And if I want to look at the codes themselves, see, I can even look here in a particular, it's like, oh gosh, I can't remember. Is that particular code an endocrine system or not? So I could do that. But where you're going to find that is, they even have the neoplasm table, drug chemicals, is right here. So this particular page is the page that has the information, the link that divides it up, because I gave you first the link to just the new codes. Then you can look on the changed codes, but here's the deleted codes. So let's look there. And it tells me right here, 28 deleted codes. But if you look, you'll see that they're really based on the new codes. So this particular code that I told you was when oxalates build up in the kidney and you get kidney stones. We only had primary in the past. Now we have primary, secondary, and I think there was 5 new codes for this. So that's how that was expanded. So it wasn't really deleted, it was expanded. We had only G35 MS. Now we have all of those other codes for MS, right? Pelvic and perineal pain expanded. So you can see all that contusion to the abdominal wall. It was all expanded. Now, we had allergy to milk, anaphylactic reaction. What we didn't have was that subcategory in the description to say, can they have it in a baked good? Do they react or not react in a baked good? So that was expanded for milk and eggs. Let's see. Financial insecurity was expanded. That's an SDOH. And allergy to milk and eggs. So allergy to milk and eggs and anaphylactic reaction. So this allergy for milk and eggs was expanded into baked goods and non-baked goods. So it's really telling that we had 28 deleted codes, meaning at 20 codes, 20 8 codes that were expanded. And then you go back and say, out of that, we ended up with 487 codes. So you could pretty well say, go look at the deleted codes first, because that's going to tell you what the focus was of this year for 2026. And they took less than 30 codes, right at 30 codes, and they turned them into almost 500 codes with the expansion. It's a synthetic non-steroidal estrogen that was historically widely used to prevent potential miscarriages by stimulating the synthesis of estrogen and progesterone in the placenta. Interesting. Thank you very much, Lisa. You get the gold star.
Diethylstilbestrol. Very good.
Wow. So if that helps you again, that's one of the reasons I think Find a Code is so brilliant. One is that they were based in education, just like CCO. We're educational based. That's our goal. And then they want to give you additional information. And the beauty of that is that it's easy to flow, user friendly. And there's some others I get, at work, I get one paid for and everything. I don't use it because it's bulky and it doesn't feel comfortable to pull out the information. And with this, it does. And like I said, you can look up any code. And right now we have G35 for MS. Now the new codes aren't put in yet, but when October 1st hits, if you put in G35, you'll have this information. And then in bright red, it'll say deleted code October 1st, 2025. And then it'll have a link to the new code range because this was all expanded. And look here. All that additional information, guess what? If you needed information about MS, there it is, right there. Your common language description.
Looking for medical coding, medical billing, and risk adjustment education? Learn more at cco.us.